Mustard yellow, this thing here. You're going to zoom in? I was meant to come on earlier, but had to make lunch. A2, okay. I keep double checking it because the colour seems a little bit off, but I do apologise, I've actually gone on early. I haven't put out the thingy. You know, I'm not, I won't bother. There's no point. Too early in the day. Right. I'll do it on. Come on. Oh, this is frustrating. Okay, right, apologies for the delay there, if people come and watch this in the future. Right, mustard yellow today. Sorry, I forgot to put out the feelers on social media. Mustard yellow today. Let's see what we can do. This colour looks pretty grim. Today's beverage sponsored by Bang, watermelon flavour. Wild in watermelon. Oh, is the ring pull knackered? Oh, that was an effort. That is delicious. You're not going to click on the back, are you? There you go. Coob, how's it going, man? Yeah, I'll if you drop me your Discord ID, thing is, I never use Discord as much as I should probably. Well, I use it for obviously chatting with my uni mates when we play games, but we've not played together in a little while. Whenever I'm streaming, you're probably always hearing it pinging away in the background because I've joined a few groups. But how you doing today, man? All good? Yeah, mustard yellow today. I say that as I've just spilt drink all over me. What an idiot. And then you use and then you use the hand that you, God's sake, Jamie, sometimes. Right, I'm going to have to change over here a second. What an idiot. What an idiot. Just spilt drink on myself and I used my right hand to, my right sleeve to wipe it all off. Sorry about that. I'm doing good, been playing some Rocket League and now just took a break. There you go. Yeah, I was meant to be on a little bit earlier, but I had to go and make lunch for me and the lad. But then discovered on opening the bread to make some toasties that it got all mouldy, so then I had to go to the shop. So it's like, oh, fantastic. But we're on now, we're all having a good time. Nice chilled out Friday. I've been promising it for a while, but I'm going to see where we are after I've made dinner. No, because I promised I'm going to watch a film with my little boy. Because I was just about to say then, oh yeah, I've got time to do 2, and it's like, no, I haven't. I'm watching a film later. I don't need to start doing 2 in a day until after the holidays. And just chill out. Do you have any good games on Rocket League? Get some wins? I've not played that in ages. I'll kind of go on, have a few games, and then I'll not play for a few weeks. Really nice. Read everything else. Oh, nice. Watching Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, my son and I are going through all the Marvel films. I'd seen everything up to Far From Home, but then when he said he wanted to watch them all, I stopped watching any new ones until I'd caught up with him. And over the weekend just gone, we ended up doing 3 of them. So we watched Ant-Man and Wasp, and then both Avengers, all in one day. Oh, I'd tell a lie, actually. I haven't seen Captain Marvel. And I said to him, I haven't seen that. I would like to watch it because it looked decent. But it's an origin story of her character, so it's not necessary. You can get away with watching the Avengers without that. I said Ant-Man and Wasp is probably the last one that you need to watch. And Black Widow. I saw Black Widow at the cinema. That was so disappointing, that film. It could have been brilliant as well. But he wasn't interested in Black Widow, so I said, right, well... Yeah, I really enjoyed Far From Home. And what we're going to do between... Oh, and we watched Into the Spider-Verse as well. That was the first time I watched it, and it's amazing. That's such a good film. I didn't know if there were any spoilers in it for Avengers. I didn't think there were. But just to be sure, I said, right, we'll watch Avengers and all that first. And plus, I wanted to watch that before I watched Across the Spider-Verse. But yeah, the Spider-Man film's all really good. And we're going to watch... What else we're going to watch? We're going to catch up with all the old Spider-Man films before we watch No Way Home as well. Which would be good for me, because I've not seen the Andrew Garfield ones. I've not seen the Amazing Spider-Man films. I've seen the Tobey Maguire ones. 1 and 2 are great, 3 is not. 3 was so disappointing. Tobey Maguire was the best Peter, Andrew was the best Spidey, and Tom was a good balance of both. So I suppose it's a good way to... I can't comment on that because I've not seen Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man yet. And also I've not read any of the comics, so I can't attest to that. What I will say is I loved both Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. I think they're both great Spider-Man. But I still can't decide who my favourite out of those two is. I'd probably just give it to Tom Holland. Because I think, like you say, he is a very good balance of both. And he seems more like a school/college kid. And I think that was the whole thing with Spider-Man, is that he's very, very young. Like, he's not a man, he's a kid. And I think you get more of an impression from that from Tom Holland's character. But like I said, I still love Tobey Maguire's portrayal. I remember watching... I watched all of them at the cinema and had a great time. Especially with Spider-Man 2. I think that's a brilliant film. Raul... Oh, what's his flipping... I keep getting Ray Liotta and Raul Julia, and he's neither of them. Doc Octopus. That's going to annoy me. Raul Julia's M. Bison, and Ray Liotta's bloody Ray Liotta from Goodfellas. What's his flipping name? Doc Octopus, anyway. You know who I'm talking about. He's brilliant. I think Spider-Man 3 introduced too many villains, and they got Brock wrong as well. Eddie Brock. I remember at college reading about the third one, because me and my mates were all really looking forward to it. Raimi saying he's not going to cave and put Venom in it just because the fans are demanding it. He'd already had Sandman. That was disappointing. It's the same with the game as well. I remember Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 was amazing. Alfred Molina, thank you. But yeah, the Spider-Man 2 game on my PS2. Oh, what a game! And my son's just played. I've completed Spider-Man on the PS4 as well. It's the first and only game that I've platinum trophied on a PlayStation. I had such a good time playing that game. And my son's just platinumed it as well. Or he's just about to. And looking next to get... I'll be all over that. Could talk about films all day. I went to a friend's. Your video was cutting off. I'm not sure if we can do something about that. Might be on my end. If anyone else can comment, is there something wrong with the video? I'm looking at it through my phone because that's what I'm recording it off. There's no... It might be at your end, unless the feed from the app to YouTube, something's going on there, because I'm looking at it through my phone and there's no hiccups. Thank you for the like, by the way, whoever did that. Yeah, I don't know. It might be something on your end. It might be something, the connection between Streamlabs and YouTube, I don't know. But there's no, as I'm looking at it through my phone, there's nothing going on, nothing happening. But yeah, I could genuinely talk about films all day. I went to a friend's house last week for a barbecue, and me and our friends who went, we're always talking about films and games and stuff like that. And we were chatting about like the Mission Impossibles and the Bonds. Every few minutes, I guess. Oh, interesting. I'll keep an eye on it, Coop. I'll see if anything happens on my phone. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything about it, but I'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, so we're always talking about that. Always talking about movie franchises and all that kind of stuff. Do you have a favourite actor? No, not just one. There's probably about 10. So, off the top of my head, Sam Rockwell would probably be number one, if I had to pick a number one. The obvious ones like Denzel. Who else? My mind has gone completely blank. I do like Tom Hardy. I thought he was amazing in Warrior. Leo DiCaprio, I think, is brilliant. He's one of those actors that used to be, probably not now, but because of Titanic, it was probably not cool to say him. But he's just so flipping good in everything that he's in. Like Django Unchained, he was brilliant in it. Catch Me If You Can is such an underrated film. I think Brad Pitt is a great actor. Christoph Waltz is amazing. Like, I just love watching him. I'd probably say Sam Rockwell. I'm trying to think though. My mind's gone completely blank on who I would say Christian Bale, definitely. He's up there. I think he's amazing. Heath Ledger's up there. And I loved Heath Ledger before Dark Knight. My wife and kids were watching 10 Things I Hate About You last night. Such a good film from my college, that. And A Knight's Tale. I'd recommend anybody go and watch A Knight's Tale. Love that film. I've never seen The Aviator. Who else? There's probably loads that I'm missing out, to be honest. But there's about 10 actresses as well. Like, I can't just pick one. Like, if I had to, again, for actresses, if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Tilda Swinton. And Cate Blanchett would be up there as well. I think they're just really, 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 really good. Yeah, probably those two. I'd say, who else? I cannot remember her name, and I feel ashamed to say that I can't remember her name. And she's been in loads of stuff. She was the actress in a film called Hidden Numbers, which is a really good film. And I feel mightily ashamed that I can't remember the actress's name. Yeah, Paul Bettany's mint. I really like Paul Bettany. There's a good story about him. He tells when he was like struggling in Hollywood, and I think it was when he got the call for Vision. I think like an agent or someone had told him that he was finished in Hollywood, and then he got that call, and he gave them the middle fingers. I love action films though, so I really enjoy watching. So like, again, I know people are probably down on him because of his personal life, but I think Tom Cruise is great. Like anything he's in, I'll happily watch. Because I'm a big action fan. I'll happily watch anything that he's in. And over the 2010s, he was in some absolute bangers. So he was in what? Edge of Tomorrow, which is amazing. Oblivion. Obviously the Mission Impossible franchise. I love all of them. Top Gun Maverick's amazing. I just think he's really good at his craft, and he is a good actor as well. Like anything Jason Statham is in. Like, what I like about him is that he says himself he's not really an actor, but he always seems to get cast in really fun films. So I'll watch anything he's in, and just reminded me, Guy Ritchie, The Gentleman. So Matt McConaughey, he's one of my favourites as well. I think he's brilliant. He almost stole the show in Wolf of Wall Street. I thought he was hilarious in that. Tom Cruise, but I can't deny that Tom Cruise has made some quite... Yeah, I know people are down on him for... I don't really care about his personal life, to be honest. He's just really good at what he does. But yeah, Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis shares the exact same birthday as my dad. March 19th, 1955. They're exactly the same age. Bruce Willis looks better. Sorry, Dad, but he does. Yeah, Bruce Willis has been in some absolute bangers as well. Obviously, the Die Hards. Looper is amazing. I recommend that to anybody. I think all the Die Hards are good. Oh no, I tell a lie. I've not seen the fifth one because I heard it was atrocious, but I thought Die Hard 4 was good. Sam Jackson as well. How the hell could I forget Sam Jackson? Oh my word. He's an absolute goat of an actor. Morgan Freeman, he's another one. Yeah, there's too many. I don't think I could ever just pick one. There's too many that are just really good. It's the same with actresses as well. There's just so many. Like I'd say, in fact, I'd probably say Julia Roberts is up there as one of my favourite actresses. She's just good in everything that she's in. She's one of those that even if the film's shit, she's normally really good in it. Yeah, there's too many. Too many. Yeah. Cillian Murphy, yeah, definitely. Robert Downey, Jude Law, Kate Winslet, yeah. It's too many. Like I don't think I could ever pick a favourite. Like Javier Bardem's another one. You could say him. I tend to look more, not so much actors, but I'll kind of like directors. I'll look at. Like anything Quentin Tarantino does, I'm straight in there and watching it. Or I'll try and get in there and watch it. Martin Scorsese, Chris Nolan, Neil Blomkamp, they're kind of my... And now, is it Neil Villeneuve? who did is it Neil? Who did the Blade Runner and Dune films. Because I saw some very interesting trailers when I went to see Mission Impossible the other week. Like, films that I would probably normally not care about. But because whoever's directing them, it will make me think, actually, I probably would go and see that if they're directing it. Guy Ritchie, yeah, Nolan. Oh yeah, that's a great shit. The Islands are really nice. It's very good. Michael Bay's a guilty pleasure kind of guy. He just does what. I mean, not all of his films are good, but I just like the fact he does his own thing. And he goes, you know what, I like doing this, and this is how I make it. My guilty pleasure director is Roland Emmerich. So he's the guy who did Independence Day and Day After Tomorrow, 2012. Like, they're just leave your brain at the door, go and have a good time. That's what his films are. Don't think about it. Just go and have some fun. Just go and have a laugh. Go and have a laugh at the moon has got AI in it or something. Pete, how's it going, my man? You got the cinematographer down for what he does. Yeah, it's like his live action stuff's really good. So, Coob, this is my mate Pete. This is a friend of mine who I went to university with. How's it going, Mr. Castagna Davis? We're just talking about big, loud action films. And thank you for the likes, whoever's popped them on. I've just seen there's 2 more. Yeah, Michael Bay's just silly. He's a silly director. I've not seen Six Underground yet, though. But it looks like it'll be a good laugh. Going underground, do. Yeah, so we're going to watch all the Marvel films, and then we'll move on to the X-Men films, which are really good. You liked, I find that it's a bit... So I can give you my favourites. So my favourite film of all time is Terminator 2. Because that was the first film that I ever watched that blew my tiny little mind. I first saw that when I was about 9, I think, 9 or 10. So about 90, I know it came out in 91. And I saw it in about 94 or 95. I was in Germany, I think. And I just thought, what the hell is this? And I couldn't believe what I was watching. And from then it's just been like, that was kind of my love, that kind of birthed my love of sci-fi and action. Because it's the perfect kind of mix. And then off the back of that, even though it was made beforehand, I discovered Alien and Aliens. Predator. I think Predator 2 is probably the most underrated film ever. But over the years, I've kind of... So comedy, action and sci-fi, they're the 3 that I go to. So Hot Fuzz is my favourite comedy. One of the reasons is, one, because Edgar Wright and Nick Frost and Simon Pegg are amazing together. I watch Spaced about 3-4 times a year. And I used to live and go to that, brought back some memories. In terms of action films, like Inception's amazing, Terminator, Predator, Alien, The Matrix, the first Matrix is incredible. Shawshank Redemption's one of the best films ever made for me. But in terms of, I don't know, comedies is a strange one because for me it doesn't need to be this like super clever. Like, I would say Jackass, the Jackass films are some of the funniest cinema experiences I've ever had. Doesn't need to be high art, just something that entertains you. T2, Enemy at the Gates, In Bruges, Fifth Element is amazing. I looked for that for ages on Blu-ray and I finally got it. Love Fifth Element. In Bruges is really funny. Enemy at the Gates is a great film. Dumb and Dumber's great. The Mask. See, Baby Driver is a strange one because Baby Driver is a great film. I saw that at the cinema. But I think my expectations were too high because I love Edgar Wright. And it was like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 across the board. I gave it a 4 out of 5, not out of 10. Me and my friends do things out of stars. Out of 5 stars. I gave it a 4, I would say. It's very good, but... And I love the idea of it, but I don't know what it was. I just didn't... It's a strange one because it should be perfect, that film, but... Yeah, I just thought it was really good. It didn't blow my mind. But I'd say if I had to pick a top 3, I would probably say Terminator 2, Back to the Future, and Shawshank Redemption. I'd probably say those 3. Excuse me. But like I said earlier, I love all the James Bond films. I'm a big, big James Bond fan. I was talking to this about this, like, I can acknowledge that the Mission Impossible franchise overall, I know there's less films, but actually have a better track record in terms of good films. So I'd say out of the 7, 6 are legitimately really, really good films. Number 2 is a fun action film. It's a bit sillier. You know, John Woo directs it, so it's just him getting Tom Cruise to do flips and stuff. But it's a near, like, it just doesn't, as a franchise, it doesn't miss, where James Bond has had some howlers. Like, as much as I love James Bond, even I can admit they've had some absolute duds. But I still love the James Bond franchise more. I had no idea what the movie was before I started watching it. I made it. Yeah, it is really, really, really good. Like, I don't want people to think I'm down on it. It's really, really good. But I just think, because of how much I love Edgar Wright, I think my expectations were possibly a smidge too high. Oh, I don't know if I'd give... Oh, it's tough. That in terms of how much I love The Fifth Element, yeah, like, I just love watching it. Is it a 10 out of 10 though? Like, for me, Terminator 2 is a 10 out of 10. Would I put... I'd probably give it... If I was rating it out of 10, it'd be a 9, I would say. It'd be 4, 4.5, I'd give it. Next James Bond, Henry Cavill. I think... I like the idea before they were going to give it to him and they were going to sort of go for a younger Bond. And they were seriously toying with that idea, but they decided to keep with sort of the traditional older Bond, because James Bond has always been a bit older, which I was fine with. Because at the time in 2005, well, Casino Royale was 06, so they would have cast him in, what, 05. Henry Cavill would have been too young then. I think now he's got much more acting experience. He's a really good actor. He looks the part. I just can't think of anyone else. Like, I've heard Tom Hardy's name. I think he's a bit too... I love Tom Hardy, but I just think he's a bit too rugged for it. I've heard... I can never pronounce his name. He's a great actor. Chieltwa Ochifor. I can never pronounce his name. 12 Years a Slave. He's in 2012. He's in loads of stuff. Brilliant actor. Again, I'm not sure he's the right type of actor. Idris Elba would have been perfect if Daniel Craig didn't get it. I think he's too old now. Which is a shame, because Idris Elba could have easily been a great Bond, but I don't think he would have been as good as Daniel Craig. And unfortunately, they're sort of similar ages. And Daniel Craig, I mean, after you've seen his performance as Bond, it's like, yeah. I was just saying there, Coop. Sorry. I think Idris Elba would have been perfect if Daniel Craig didn't get it. I think now he's too old. He's 50. Is he 55? What is he? 50 odd? I just think he's too old now, which is a shame. Because if, say, Idris Elba was in his 30s, I think he would have been a great shout. But for now, I think I think Michael Fassbender would have been a great choice as well. I saw a picture of it was Mike Murray. He showed me a picture of Ian Fleming's original drawing of James Bond, and it looks like Michael Fassbender. So he would have been a good choice. But yeah, I just can't really think of anyone other than Henry Cavill at the minute. And I genuinely think Henry Cavill would be the best one. I think it's Elba, E-L-B-A, I think it is. Yeah, he was so good in Luther as well. It's a great show. I've not watched the film yet, though. Is it something Sun? Yeah, it's a shame that Elba's knocking on a bit now, because he would have been a really good choice. Cavill just been phenomenal, which I thought he was excellent as Superman. I feel a bit sorry for Cavill. He suffered almost a little bit in the same way that Brosnan did as Bond. Like, Pierce Brosnan was an amazing James Bond, but he was let down a bit by bad writing. Like, I do think Tomorrow Never Dies and World Is Not Enough are actually two really underrated Bonds, but Die Another Day was shocking. I think Cavill was a little bit like that. Like, I thought he was amazing as Superman, but just some of the films, like Justice League. Oh dear. Yeah, Justice League was not great. Batman versus Superman had its moments, from what I remember, but yeah, overall, just. But yeah, I just can't really think of anyone else. Because with Bond, Bond is such a specific character. It's not one of those where you can just cast anyone. You actually have to sort of have the right what's the word I'm looking for? Like, criteria. The actor has to have the right criteria. So if through no fault of their own, like, the timing's just not there, like Idris Elba, like the timing just went against him, then you can miss out. Because I remember as well, me and my friend Graham were talking about Clive Owen. Because at the time, I think the only big film that he'd been in, Daniel Craig had been in, was Layer Cake. I think he was briefly in Reign of Fire as well, which wasn't a big film. So he was kind of like he wasn't well established, where Clive Owen had just done Children of Men been released. No, Children of Men was after. He was in Bourne Identity, and a bigger film. And out for work, but great chat. No, thank you for coming in, Pete. Always good to see you. Oh, didn't expect to see you here. I thought you'd have been. I thought you would have been out, but thanks for dropping by, man. Always good to have a catch up, especially when we're chatting movies. I love chatting about movies and games. Do you know what? Because I've been jabbering away, I've not really sat back and looked at my drawing. I've just been filling stuff out randomly. It's looking alright though, actually. It's looking alright. Got a good amount of people in for a Friday afternoon. I didn't think I'd have that many in. Because I'm watching a film with my son. I went down and said to him, do you want to watch it now? Because I might do my recording later. Because I tend to get more people in later on. And he went, no, I want to watch the film later. So I said, all right, no worries. I'll do the old recording now. You might even be able to hear him. He's playing Fortnite, I believe. What beverage did you get, Coob? Something delicious. Something sucks, apparently. It's because you're playing Fortnite, kid. Everything sucks. Just a glass of water. Do you know what? Nothing wrong with that choice at all. Yeah, my mate Pete's had to shoot off to Wake. But I was just saying to him there I could chat about films forever. But I don't suppose many films are going to be made due to the writer's strike. I haven't looked into that at all, so I've got no idea what the exact issue is. From what I read, is it sort of the lower, like the runners, sort of that area of like production don't get enough pay, which obviously fair enough. Yeah, I don't know though. I've not read anything into it. Oh, did you? Was it good? We had to do, well, it's just gone now, but Pete will tell you, we had to do a, so me and him did a video game design at uni, but part of, within the course was like storytelling, because that's part of sort of building a video game. So we had like a movies, like a film studies section. I've made a balls up of that there. Yeah, but that was really good, making little short films with classmates. That sounds awesome. But yeah, we had a little sort of film studies section of our course, and we learnt about, like, one lesson was about Hitchcock, then the next, you know, about how to write. Watch it, yeah, I bet that was awesome. I would have loved to have done that. Better than our course was shit. Like, it was so bad, our course. But I did really enjoy those lessons where we just sat and chatted about film, and like watching the Hitchcock stuff was really interesting. Like how he, I don't want to say invented horror because I don't think he did, but like his influence on horror. And then, like, how could you translate storytelling like that into a video game? It was really interesting. Yeah, it's always the way with the uni stuff. Like, if you don't carry on with it, you tend to forget a lot of it. But I did really enjoy sort of our film study part of uni. It was good fun. I used to really like horror films, but they just don't interest me anymore. Like, I don't find jump scare. I think maybe as I've got older, I've got more of a wuss, but like the jump scare stuff doesn't interest me anymore. Just nah, not my cup of tea. It's considered very easy course to say people just lays that. Yeah, that is a shame because that is the type of course you could get a lot out of, I think. But if people are just tossing it off, then you're not going to get as much out of it as you should. I just like chatting shit about films with my mates, though. It's one of my favourite things to do. Because I'd rather just watch films myself than look at reviews. I don't think I ever look at reviews anymore. I don't see the point. That's my alarm to go and pick the kids up from school. But they're not at school. I need to do not disturb. Yeah, like I used to quite enjoy reading film reviews, but some of them are just utter nonsense that I read. Like they talk about stuff that's got nothing to do with the film. That was pretty, yeah. Sorry about that. I set an alarm at 2:30 every day during the week to go pick up the kids. Not that I'll forget, but sometimes I'll like if I've had like a really bad night's sleep and I'll end up crashing in the afternoon, then I'll like go for a nap. So it's just to make sure I wake up. I don't think I've ever needed it. But I just know the one time I don't set it is the one time I'll miss it. So I'm like, no, I'm not risking that. I wish I still had it. I remember I had an Empire magazine, and it was from 1999, was it, or 2000? And it had like the 50, or what they deemed to be the 50 best movies up until that point. Some interesting takes on that, I'll tell you. But no, film's one of my favourite pastimes. I've got a bit lazy with watching films though. Like there's loads of films that I should have watched that I haven't seen, but like I kind of have to be in the mood for them. Like it took me I remember I used to get absolute dog's abuse because I'm Scottish, but I'd never seen Braveheart up until like I remember going out and buying it. In fact, I was at uni was when I first saw it, so it was like 2004 or something. But all my mates used to give me proper abuse, saying, "You haven't seen Braveheart? You're Scottish. What's the matter with you?" Spat on the bloody paper there. There's loads of films I do it with though. Like if I miss them at the cinema, because it's quite hard for me to get away, especially in the holidays, to go to the cinema. So a lot of films I'll miss, and then when they come out, like I just tend to not watch them when they come out on the streaming things because I have to be in the mood to watch them. Like The Hateful Eight, I think is the only Tarantino film I've not seen. But I've just now kind of go to watch it. I'm like, man, I'm not really in the mood to watch. I want to watch something a bit more light-hearted or a bit more easy. Like I just tend to watch really just no-brain action films. So like one of them is what was the one I watched the other day? I was just knackered and I got some food in. Oh no, I was hungover, sorry. It was when I went out. And the day after, I watched Geostorm. That one with Gerard Butler. And it's naff, but it's fine. It's just a fun little silly action film. Up on out, I'd like to... yeah, I really need to see that. Yeah, I can understand that. Like, if there's too many people knocking about, you can get really anxious about it. I've been there. My mate who I went to see Mission Impossible with, he's just asked me if I want to go and watch Oppenheimer this weekend, but I can't this weekend. Because I've got the kids. My missus is out on Sunday, which is when we would have watched it. She's going to the seaside with her sister, so I've got the kids at home. Which is a real shame because I said that Oppenheimer is one that I really want to see. Because Chris Nolan's one of those directors that I'll just watch anything that he directs. But there's one good example of this. Is Memento's been on, I think it's on Netflix. And it's been on my watch list for ages. And I'll think, oh, shall I watch that today? And then I'll just end up watching some sort of drivel, like just easy no-brain action film that I'll just watch because I can't be bothered to sit and pay attention to the film. Like I'm really lazy sometimes with films. It's stupid, considering that I really love watching films, and I've got a very lazy attitude about it. Like, get this, right? So in 2002, I remember this. Me and two of my friends were going to go and meet a third friend, so my friends from college, to go and watch Gangs of New York. I remember this was 2002, and there was a pub called Moods, not there anymore, in the town that I live in. And we said, right, we'll go and meet you there, and then we're going to go to the cinema. We met him, but he'd been out on the bevy for maybe a couple of hours at that point, and he was out with a few of his workmates. And I think he was meant to just sort of go out and have a bit of lunch with them and have a couple of drinks, but he ended up getting sloshed. So we said, right, what we'll do then is we'll leave it this time and we'll try and catch it, another time. To this day, I have never, ever seen Gangs of New York. 21 years on, and I still haven't seen that film. To the point where I said, this is ridiculous. It's meant to be one of the best films of the millennium, since the turn of millennium. I said, right, you're going to get it and you're going to sit down and watch it. And I even did that. Right, yeah. Yeah, there it is. I even bought it on Blu-ray. There it is. Still haven't opened it and watched it yet. 20 years, I still have not watched Gangs of New York. I was meant to see it at the cinema, but that day got cancelled. Mad. I know. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Gangs of New York. 20 odd years and I still haven't watched that film. That's what I mean. Like, if I miss a film at the cinema, I just tend to forget about it. Completely forget about it. And then it will, like, briefly sort of appear in my mind. I'm like, oh, yeah, I really should go and see that. And then it's like, yeah, I should stick that on. And then it's like, I've got to be in the mood to watch it. And then if I'm not really 100% in the mood, I'll just not watch it. I'm terrible. Like, my mates take the mickey out of me for that all the time because I'm so bad for it. Because I actually want to watch that film as well. Like, I didn't see Wolf of Wall Street until Swayze. So right, so Coob, you've seen Swayze. Well, we call him Swayze. Ellis, he's been in the chat before. He's one of my college mates. He's always taking the mickey out of me because I'm always missing films. Like, if I don't quite catch it at the cinema, it will be years before I see it. Like, I think didn't you take the mickey out of me because I was late to Wolf of Wall Street? I watched it this year for the first time, and you were like, "What? You've only just seen that film?" Love Equilibrium. Saw that at the cinema. I think I might have seen that with you, Ellis. Or Luke. I saw it with one of you guys. But I still really love that film. But yeah, Ellis will tell you I'm horrendous when it comes to watching films that I should have watched. I'm sure you remember me telling you about that. It was me, King and Luke. We were meant to go and see Gangs of New York, but Luke was smashed. So we ended up not seeing it, and to this day I still haven't seen it. Yeah, we've been chatting. My mate Pete from uni came in, Sways, and we've been chatting about films. Because me and Xander are watching Far From Home this evening. Because I was going to do a second one of these this evening, but then I remembered me and Xander are watching a film. Because we've burned through all the, or we're burning through all the Marvel films. Oh, right, okay. Sat there in silence. You work on anything interesting? V for Vendetta is amazing. I got the graphic novel for that last Christmas. Matrix. Yeah, I'm of exactly the same opinion with the Matrix films. I think the first one is genuinely a masterpiece. I think the second two aren't great, but I still really enjoy them. The third one's a strange one. Like, overall, it's not a good movie, but there are loads of bits in it that I like. Like, I really like the end fight that they have. But yeah, Matrix 2 and 3 were just... They could have been incredible as well. I need to have a back. Let's have a... Oh, I've just noticed my phone's rocked off to the side because the... Oh, Swayze, while you're here, played Warzone last night with Dan and Chris. I've not really been in the mood to play that. Like, I've been playing multiplayer a lot. Just playing it on my own, and they weren't meant to be on last night, but Dan invited me, so I thought I'll play because I don't want them to think I'm ignoring them. We ended up just having a laugh, but we must have had, I would say, the worst lobbies we have ever had. None of us were really playing that well. Dan's messed his back up, so he was in pain. something was wrong with Chris. I was just playing garbage. But for 5 games in a row, we got a second, a first, a second, and a first. That was 5 consecutive games. And we weren't good either. Like, I don't think I got any more than 5. Maybe a 6. And the whole time that we were just messing about as well. Like, we weren't playing serious. We were just being idiots. Like, Chris has got this Snoop Dogg skin. So to get Snoop Dogg to say his lines, me and Dan just kept shooting him, and we were just pissing ourselves because Chris was getting really pissed off about it, and we just listened to Snoop Dogg getting angry. And I think we ended up winning that game as well. We were just dicking about, just taking the mickey out of each other, and we were winning it. Just ridiculous. But some of the teams we came across last night were so awful. Like, there was one guy who was walking about, like on Vondel, near the church at the back, where the castle is. There was just a bloke wandering about like he was lost. Like he was looking for his dog or something. So I think Dan killed him, and then we had a good giggle about that. But yeah, it was nonsense. I just couldn't believe it. Like, not taking it seriously at all, and we ended up doing that. But yeah, I thought you'd find that funny. Anytime you actually try and play the game, we'll end up being shit. But anyway. But yes, Coob, Equilibrium. I've just seen you mention, yeah, I actually still to this day really like that film. It's a little bit cheesy. But it's still really, really enjoyable. The only thing that annoys me about that film is it Tyrese Gibson? Is that his name? Like, the whole premise of the film is emotion, and you take pills to stunt your emotion completely, and he doesn't stop smiling. Proper winds me up. It's like, dude, you're meant to have kicked your emotions, and you're smiling like an idiot all through the film. And I find it really weird that Brian Connolly is in that film. Oh, cool. I was playing COD on Wednesday, but I was just in multiplayer, just messing about in Shoot House and Shipment, just playing some multiplayer. The Big Short, that actually surprised how good it was. Kristen Bell. I still need to watch that as well. It looks really fun. Loads of big players are in that. Like, is it Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling? Bale. There's a few big actors in that, but it's meant to be really good. That I've not seen it. Brad Pitt as well, yeah. Noticed you're on, but didn't want to. No, it's fine. You invite me. Like, I probably, like, I would have been like, oh, okay, if you'd invited me, but I didn't want to ruin your fun. Like, if you were on, I didn't notice that you were on. But I thought you probably won't want to play with me because I'll just be a bit in there. Like, I didn't want to play yesterday. And Dan and Chris don't normally play on Thursday, but then I got an invite and I thought, I'll go on then just to chat to them because I don't want them to think I'm blanking them. And I wasn't really playing properly, but the thing is, like, because we were all in giddy moods and we were all dicking about, it was really fun, and so we didn't take it seriously, and then we ended up knocking out those first and seconds. It was a joke. And I have been atrocious on Warzone recently, like really bad. But next time you're on, drop us an invite. I'll come in and just to chat with you. I'll be rubbish, but I've wanted to watch. I can probably go through my Netflix watch list now. and tell you loads of films that are like, at this point, probably 15 years old that I still haven't watched. Like, I need to watch Alien Covenant. Is that the second one? Heard it was bad. That tends, excuse me, to make me hesitant to watch it. Alright, I've got a question for you then. Are there any films that you haven't seen that you would quite happily go through your entire life without seeing? So I've got one. Social Network. I've got absolutely no interest in watching that film. I couldn't care less about it. Like, if I went through my entire life without ever seeing that film, I'd be fine with it. There's a few like that. There's one called, I think there's another one similar to that as well. Oh, Slumdog Millionaire. I couldn't give a toss about that either. Are there any more? There's probably a few horrors in there. Like the Saw sequels. I actually enjoyed that. It painted Mr. Facebook really bad though. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Zuckerberg comes across as a sociopath in real life though. He's not wide upright, that guy. But usually, like, if he's like super intelligent, like a lot of the time really, really intelligent people are. Like, they're really sort of cold and calculating and don't care much for people's emotions. But I could happily, I just don't care. There's probably a few period dramas as well that I don't give a shit about. Like Pride and Prejudice, like, not my cup of tea. Although I wouldn't be against watching. Like, I'd probably rather watch Pride and Prejudice just annoy me. Like, Isla watches, there's a TV series on Netflix. Is it Barbie's Dreamhouse? And it's like, you know, the sort of Toy Story graphics. It's kind of done in that style. And there's a sense of humour in it similar to that. And parts of it are quite funny. I thought the Barbie movie was going to be a bit more sickly sweet, a bit like that. But when I saw the trailer for it, it just looked really boring. Like, I thought, this doesn't look overly sickly sweet. It doesn't look fun. It doesn't look funny. Or like a silly children's action film. It just looked really boring. I think Dan said he took the kids to watch it. And he said it was quite fun. But I don't care. I've got no interest in it. I just thought of another film that I should have seen that I haven't. And it's a film that I really, really, really want to watch. And there's another one for you, Coob. Joaquin Phoenix. What an actor he is, by the way. Been here. He was asking me about who my favourite actor is. And there's no way I could pick one. Like, there's probably about 10 or 15. I said I'd put Sam Rockwell. If I had to pick one, he would probably be number one. But like, there are so many that I'd be like, yeah. Everything. Why does this? This is really odd. Like, I've been going at this for what, an hour and a bit. It doesn't feel like I've filled up a lot of the page. Gotta get going. It was nice to catch your stream. Now, as always, Coob, thank you very much for joining. Ooh, the quality of that's gone down. Oh no, that's just my YouTube thing. Now, always good to see you popping in, Coob, the result. Thank you very much. I can honestly chat to you about movies all day, Coob. I love chatting about films. That's what me and Ellis pretty much. Is it that football? Is it football, movies, and Call of Duty? But yeah, I love chatting about films. But I'll probably be on again Monday. That's when I'll be live streaming. I'm going to try and get... A droplet of water has gone there, look. Music, movies, Rocket League. Yeah, music's another one. But no, always good to see you in here, man. Thanks for popping in. Like I said, Monday is the next time I'll be doing some drawing, but I'm going to try and do a gaming stream. It will be Hotline Miami if I get on our Triple B channel, but I can't remember the password for it. Where has that even come from? I wasn't drinking over my page. Did a water droplet just flick over and land on it? I've disguised it a bit. That'll be fine. Has that bled through? See, it's not bled through that bad, but still. Anyway. Have a good weekend, maybe we'll see it. Yeah, I need to remember to add you on Discord. And you also have a good weekend, my friend. I shall speak to you soon. I'm going to just back up and have a look at this. That's bugged me, that. Why is there a water droplet that's landed right there? Anyway, no matter. Yeah, it feels like I haven't covered loads of the page here. All the things you do. Yeah, Sways, I was meant to go and watch Oppenheimer this weekend, but I can't because I've got the kids. And I really want to see it. Did manage to see the new Mission Impossible though, and it is wicked. It's really, really good. Because I know you like the Mission Impossibles, like I do. And the new one's just... It's possibly the best one. Possibly. I'd probably have to see it again. But it is flipping brilliant. Yeah, that's the problem. Anytime you try and get a cinema date going, it's just really, really hard. Like, you can't get the same time as everybody else. All the things you do. Still yet to break my stream record of 9 viewers at once. That's the most I've ever had. Or, well, it would be technically 8 because I watched this through my other YouTube channel just so I can see the chat. I should watch it through my actual YouTube channel, but no matter. But yeah, maybe one day I will get 10 viewers in all at once. I know I said I was going to start doing hard copies of my work or originals of my work to sell, but because it's still, I think I've said this before, because it's still the holidays, it's quite difficult to get the free time to do it. Like today's one of those days where I'm not doing anything, so I thought I'll just go back to sort of my normal schedule of doing the ARTEZA series, because I need to catch up with these. I should be on about the 17th one, but I'm only on the 12th one, so I am quite far behind. And I think when the when school starts up again, I'm going to try and do 2 a day, 2 of these a day, because then it will reduce it from what, 120 weeks, which is what, 2.5 years, to 60 weeks. So that'll be just over a year. What I'd like to do is get a Friday where I could just do, say, start at 9 in the morning and then do just consecutive streams. Maybe do 2, like what, 2 back to back, charge my phone up, come back, and then do another 2 back to back, something like that. I think that could be really fun. But I am going to have to, I might do that later. I might take a sheet of the Bristol Strathmore paper that I've got and just have a practice on that, just to get a feel of the pens, because I did it on, I bought that cheap sketchbook for £1.50. Where's all these bloody water droplets coming from? Yeah, I got that cheaper sketchbook for £1.50, just to get a feel for the paper. But these pens don't, they bleed a little bit because it's more of a multi-purpose paper as opposed to the Bristol Strathmore, which is designed specifically for pens. I'm just darkening a few of the shapes just so that one's not on its own, just so there's a little bit more consistency. If you're working at home, Swayze, I'm surprised you haven't dived back into the afternoon sessions like we used to do back when COVID was on. I'll always remember the one where right at the death, oh, don't tell me it's come from that. Oh, I've put my ruler in the, that's why you have coaster, Jamie, you tit. Yeah, when we were doing a duos, and right at the death, I think someone knocked on my door for the gas, and we were down to just me and the last team, or really near the end. They'd gone away, I came back like right at the last second and killed the guy to win. It was something like that, I can't remember. Good times. I might even, I remember, Some fun came from COVID. They were great. Yeah, there were some good games in COVID. Yeah, I've been absolutely shit on Warzone recently. But I've been really good on multiplayer. I've got a new. I had to buy a new joypad. So the joypad that came with my Xbox, I've had it for about 5 years, and it's finally kind of done in. Like the left stick doesn't move up anymore, or like it's really stiff, like it barely moves, and the R3 stick to press in doesn't press in properly. So it's not like it was usable for a couple of games, like barely. But for COD, not a chance. So I had to buy a new one. But official joypads are like 50 quid. And like I still had that kind of pro gaming pad that I got. That black one for 80 quid. But the L, is it the fire button, the R1 button, only fires like 60% of the time, and the headphone jack doesn't work. So it was barely usable as a substitute. But I managed to get another one. It's from this brand called A something. I've not heard of them before, but they've got really good reviews. They do like decent quality pads for like £35, and it's got like a couple of triggers on the back, and it's very nice. Very, very nice, but like I said, I've not really had a chance to use it in Warzone apart from yesterday. I'm hoping that might make me less shit when I next play. Control as well, just putting it off because my PS4 is old and I should get a PS. Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I've half considered because I need to upgrade my console. Need to. First world problems. Yeah, I need a new console. Fucking hell. No, but there's a game that me and Dan have been playing called No Man's Sky. It's just like a big space exploration game, and I've wanted a game like that for ages. But there's a new one coming out called Starbound. Is it? Not Starbound. That's already a game. What's it called? Starfield, I think it's called. But it's massive. It's Bethesda, so the same guys who do Fallout and Oblivion and Skyrim. And it looks brilliant. And it's on Xbox Pass. But I cannot play it on my current Xbox because it's not powerful enough. So I'm like, right, okay. Had a look at the newer Xboxes. And they are unbelievably expensive. And so is a PS5. But I was thinking, I don't really want to sell my PS4 because there's still loads of games I want to play on that. But I may have to sell my PS4 and Xbox, trade them both in for like an upgraded console. But again, will I get away with that pad? Like, hopefully it works enough for a test that I can sell it. But there's the Slim, is the Xbox Series S, that like one of them's only like is it between £200 and £300? And there's like the big Xbox Series X, that's like £500. And I was looking at the differences, and the difference is that the big one's 4K and the other one isn't. So I'm thinking, do I really need 4K? Is it worth paying £200 extra just for 4K? I'm not so sure it is. Bobby was chatting to me about getting a new PC as well. He thought I was selling this one. It's like, you're kidding me. You think I've got an extra £5 to blow on a gaming PC? Not a chance. And I don't think I was ever going to sell this PC. I was probably going to give it to Xander. But I'm nowhere near getting a new PC. Not a chance. This thing has to last me at least another 5 years, I would say. Here's Xander singing the Jurassic Park theme tune as well for some reason. Let's have a look at this. I start to save one, then end up booking a holiday. Such a big payment just for me. Yeah. Like, you can't justify spending like 300-400 quid on a car. It's because of how much they've gone up. Like, I remember back in the day, like N64s, PS2s, even the Xbox 360 and PS3s were like 250 quid, 200 quid. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's doable. Like, it's not that expensive either. But now they're like 400 or 500 quid. In fact, I'm going to look now, actually. So what's a PS5? You've got me interested. I'll just look on Amazon, just as a quick. So on Amazon, PS5, 4,399. That's a bit cheaper. They were 480. You've got an Xbox Series X, which is 479, and then an Xbox Series S, which is 242. So the Series S doesn't have a disc drive and is 1080p, I think, whereas the Xbox Series X has a disc drive and is 4K. And I think if I sell my Xbox One S, I think it cuts the price in half. So I'm like, can I... But I'd have to sort of I'd have to sell... I don't know how it would work. Like, because I've got Modern Warfare 2 on disc. Like, I'd have to look into see, because I've already paid for the game, is there a way I can, like, trade it for... Yeah, 400 in Argos, yeah. Yeah, 400 seems to be the going rate for a PS5. The only difference between a PS5 and a Xbox for me is because I use Xbox Game Pass. That's the only difference. Otherwise, I'd probably end up getting a PS5 just to play about on that. But yeah, I'm thinking I don't know how it would work with Call of Duty though. Like, if you've got like a disc version of the game, like, it doesn't seem very fair that if you trade up and get a digital only console, there must be a way surely that they'd say, right, we've seen that you've paid for the game already, so you can trade it in for like a code or something. Because that doesn't seem the fairest, but then again, it is a AAA gaming company, so I'll probably squeeze you for every last penny that you've got. They'll probably charge you double, just to be dickheads. Right, let me just get my other drive. I had this bloody insecurity last time where I thought I'd not covered enough of the page. Oh, there we are. I know we joke about it, but I have no preference. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, PS2's like, it's in my top 3 greatest consoles of all time. I think the PS2 is an absolute masterpiece of a console. But the one weakness I'd say of the PS2 was its pad. It's because I've got quite fat stumpy hands, and it just doesn't suit my hands. Whereas an Xbox pad just suits my hands more. That's literally it. Xander said he prefers the PlayStation pad because the D-pad and the stick on the left side switched, so the sticks are level, and the D-pad's up. I never know. Whenever I switch between the PS and Xbox pad, I never notice it. Let's have a look at you. No, that's okay. I'll cut. What I'll do is I'll fill in some of the middle bits here. Yeah, I'm the opposite. Yeah, but that's literally it. Because it was as well with the Xbox pad. It was back in the 360 days. One thing I preferred about it, especially playing first-person shooters, was the L1 and L2 buttons. Sorry, yeah, the L2 and R2 buttons. Sorry, on the PlayStation pad they were buttons. On the Xbox pad they're triggers, and I just thought that felt better. But the PlayStation pads now are actually really nice because what they've done, they've kind of, is concave the right word, where they kind of bend the back shoulder buttons inwards so they feel more like triggers. So it's kind of like a cross between a button and a trigger. So the PlayStation pads now, the PS4 pads now, is very, very nice. And it feels like a bit wider as well. And like a bit more like they've smoothed out the handles and angled them a bit more. So it feels really, really good now. But yeah, PlayStation and Xbox is basically what's your favourite colour, red or blue? Do you know what I mean? Let's fill some of this in. Yeah, I've always said, like, I thought the 360 was better than the PS3, and I thought the PS2 was better than the Xbox. I think after that, I mean, what? I'd probably say that it's weird because the Xbox One, that black one, the very first version of it, is the worst console I've ever owned. It's shocking. That seems to be the thing with consoles, isn't it? They seem to make like the shit version first, and then so you end up paying more money and waiting for updates. What annoys me, I've said this as well for ages, I actually genuinely think the Switch could have been the best console out of a lot of them. If they put more power in that thing and weren't such dickheads over third parties, they could have cleaned up even more than they do. Because the idea of it, like a combo of a handheld and a home console, like, it's so good. Like you're playing Zelda on your screen, on your big TV, and then you go on holiday, and like you just want to catch an hour before you go to bed or something. Like you haven't got that withdrawal symptoms, you've got it with you. It's so good. And Nintendo have got some absolute belters as well. Before I forget, I was watching your stream last night, but one on my phone, so I couldn't comment. Oh, thanks, man. Cheers. This one here. Where is it? Yeah, I hadn't... Yeah, this is what I was doing yesterday. Either my eyes have gone really funny. That I don't know why, but that's looking... It looks a bit blue. There's like a blue tinge to it. Maybe I need my eyes sorting, but... Yeah, I started doing an alphabet. I really wanted to do it on Wednesday, when we got back from that fun fair thing, but I was that knackered I just crashed out, so I couldn't do it. So I thought, right, I've not streamed for a little bit, so I did one yesterday where I thought I'll just play about with the new alphabet for an hour, and then I went back and inked in that work. And I'll go back to, if I'm able to do a second stream, because I'll do a Black Book stream, excuse me, on Monday, and if I'm able to get a second stream in, I think I should do, then I'll go back and I'll ink the third one of that in, and then I'll colour them all in one stream. yeah, I need to figure out more sort of over the, like I said, over the summer I've said 1,000 times that the schedules of when I want to do things, it's a bit all over the place because with the kids being off, you know, we're kind of having days out and stuff. It's just get on when you can and have a mess about. But when they're back at school, I need to, before then, I need to kind of restructure my timetable a bit because I need to start prioritising fitting time in for the original artwork to put in frames and sell. I'm going to do at least 5 of them, so they need to take priority, which means I might have to shift around some streams that I do. I'll figure it out though. Super. No, thank you, man. It does mean a lot. Thank you. Because I'm a little bit iffy with graffiti stuff because it's quite a passionate field of art, as I've discovered with some comments that have come my way. Some people are quite touchy about what qualifies as graffiti and what doesn't. I don't know if I told you, but somebody said that my work did not qualify as graffiti because I was drawing on dot grid paper. Which is fine, it's fair enough if that's the comment, if that's your opinion, but I just don't understand it. So yeah, some people get a bit touchy about it. But I do want to do more pieces like that. But it's just fitting that in with the other stuff that I do. Like there's A6 work that I've not done in a while because I can't fit it in. I only did my first sketchbook in about, was it 3 weeks? Was it this one? Yeah, was it Tuesday? No, last Thursday when I did that one. Like the gap between these two was about 3 weeks. And it's like, yeah, I need to, you know, that was priority 1 at one point. Right. Yeah, I'm going to start filling in. Because I wouldn't mind doing some of those graffiti pieces on the main, or not the main, the sketchbook that I got, that the posh one, I'll call it. And do some pieces like that. I think I've probably mentioned him loads of times, but one of my sort of biggest inspirations in the graffiti world is a guy called Digital Does, or his handle's Does, but his sort of page is Does. I'll show you some of his work, and he's got like a setup where he's got like, you know the drawers that we used to have at college. He's got like one of them in his office where he just pulls out all of his work, where he keeps it. It's unbelievable. Let's see if I can find his work. So yeah, this is his, I don't know if you can see that. But that's the kind of stuff that he does. Like, it's unreal. But he just does loads of stuff like that. And that's kind of what I want to emulate. Obviously not his style, because that's his style, but sort of the way he works and the way he does like loads of sketchbook pieces and stuff like that. They just look so good. think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this time on. Yeah. This has been one of my longer streams for one of these, but I've really enjoyed doing this one. I've really enjoyed this stream, just chatting films and just drawing. That's what you want. That's what you want. But yeah, I'm going to fill in some more gaps, I think. And then what I'm going to do is just do a detail on the bottom of each each panel, block, shape, polygon, whatever you want to call it, just to add a little bit more detail to it. In fact, what I might do, yeah, I might do bits like that just coming off it. Okay, that's really badly blocked in. With these pens, they're not really designed for blocking colour in, so when you don't do it right the first time, it looks a bit dodgy. What are you moaning about now, Xander? It's only Fortnite. Do I want to detail it outward? No, I don't think I will. I'll leave it as the shapes dashed around it, I think. Why do I find horizontal lines harder to draw? I'm wobbling about all over the place. Oh, there's a big gap here. I don't like that. Make sure there's no water on this ruler. That's how I smudged a bit of work last time. Apologies if my fat head's in the shot. That was a terrible line. Let's have a look. Is that enough? That's what I want to know. Yes. Right, I can wrap this up finally. Put my thing here. I've just completely forgotten how to do my signature. What on earth am I doing? Sake. All right, done. Mustard yellow. You are out of there. So this is easily the longest. Oh, or is it? I don't think it is. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Alice. Appreciate it. I think this is probably the second longest it's taken me to do a drawing, but it's been the most fun. Not only was drawing it really fun, but obviously chatting with everybody about films and games and stuff. It's flown by. But yeah, it's turned out nice. Got a water droplet on it, but thankfully it was right in where a block of colour was, so I could kind of disguise it. But yeah, that's another one in the bag. It's the 12th one, so I can stick it in with the rest. It's quite cool actually. I'm starting to build up a few, so I'm flicking through all the different colours. Like that one, I really like that colour actually. It was called, what was it called? Papaya or something. Sounds like a shampoo. But anyway, thank you to everyone who came in. Thank you for all the likes, the views. Nice to see you in here, Swayze, as always. Thank you for your kind words. Always nice to catch up. Yeah, next time, if you see me on COD next time, you can chuck us an invite. It's all right. I just don't want to bring you guys down because I've just been a bit meh recently. But yes, thank you to everyone who came in. Coob, always good to see you. Thank you for popping in. I need to remember to send you an invite on Discord so I can get your album. Pete, thank you for coming in. Didn't expect to see you in, but appreciate it. Next time I'm on for drawing will be Monday. I'll definitely be doing a Black Book one. I'll try and continue. I'll try and do a second one where I continue with this. I'll ink this one in. But it depends how Monday goes with what's on and everything. I'll try and do a gaming stream on Sunday, but again, that's not guaranteed. It's just how the day pans out. But thank you all again. Have a great bank holiday weekend. But yeah, you too, man. Hopefully chat soon. Thanks to everyone again. I'll catch you later.